Next up at UFC 268, we have Jordan Williams versus Ian Garry. Jordan Williams 9-5 overall, 2-3 in his last 5, coming off of that bad loss to Mickey Gall. Ian Garry,
Lock of the week, Mickey Gall.
7-0, 5-0 in his last 5. Listen, Jordan Williams, he's a busy striker. He's got lots of power, solid leg kicks, good defensive grappling. He's very tough. He really never stops coming forward. Jordan Williams, he's had a rough go at it recently, but he is a legitimately talented fighter, good fighter with some solid skills. Ian is pretty young in his career. He only has 7 fights, but he's like literally young. He's young, good looking, fun to watch, and the UFC is looking for him to get a highlight win here so that they can push him. Honestly, he might. He's a very good striker. He's got crazy hand speed, fantastic footwork. This is almost like a Paddy Pimblett situation with the sort of British hype coming in on this guy. I do think he's as good as his hype. I bought into the Paddy hype. I'm buying into the Ian Garry hype. And I think this will be a good fight. When breaking down the tape and watching all of Ian's fights, I was impressed. And I honestly, it was just a ton of fun to watch that guy fight. If you dig into the stats, Jordan Williams has a 1-to-1 striking differential, which means for every strike he lands, he gets hit. I think Ian's speed will make that much worse than 1-to-1. I think he'll be a step ahead of Jordan the entire fight. Jordan's only real path here would be to grapple, but he doesn't have the wrestling. Excuse me. He only has a 57% takedown accuracy. And while he does average more than 1 takedown per fight, this is a little bit of a different fight. I think the speed is going to be an issue here. This fight is closer than the odds. So I do think minus 350 is crazy. This fight is closer than the odds because Jordan does have the ability to get it to the ground. But I think Ian can touch and go on his feet, light up Jordan. The speed is going to be the big difference here. You made some ridiculous facial expressions. What are your thoughts? What?
I don't know. I obviously a 350 favorite, 9,500 DraftKings. Ian Garry should win the fight, but to me, this feels like a trap. You mentioned how he's 23 years old. When I watch him, he is a lot of fun to watch. He's, hands low, doing whatever he wants, fluid. You can tell he's very confident. You mentioned he's great looking. I found his girlfriend's Instagram. She is just unbelievable. If you guys just take a minute, pause the video. Ian Garry on Instagram, you'll see his girlfriend. She's got her own page, like 300,000 followers. She gained another one today. What was I talking about? So the thing that I do love about Ian Garry is he is very good. If he was still overseas in kind of a no-name camp, I honestly would worry about him in this fight because Jordan Williams, you mentioned he's 9-5, but he's no joke, and he is tough as hell, man. And he just beat the crap out of a guy trying to steal his car. I don't know if you saw that, but the guy started pulling off in his car. He literally ripped him out of the car, threw some knees, and the guy ran off. So Jordan Williams is tough. It's going to be no easy task for Ian Garry, but get back to my point I was talking about. He is at Sanford MMA, right? So he's 23 years old, being that young at a camp that good with Usman, with Burns, with all those guys. You got to imagine that he's going to come in. I think he's going to go wrestle heavy on Jordan Williams. He might come in and strike, but I think his striking is still a little bit raw. And against Jordan Williams, you could really get caught. So I think he comes in, uses some grappling, Sanford MMA guys. So I do think he wins, but there's something about this that just kind of feels like a trap, right? So I would pick Ian Garry, but I'm not going to pay the $9,500 for him, and I would not pay 350 odds for that man. So,
yeah, I agree. This is definitely closer than these odds makers. Jordan is a genuinely talented guy. This is another fight on the card that has a 1.5 round line. So the odds makers think, and it's pretty even. The odds makers think this will be about 1.5 rounds. Listen, Jordan is tough. Ian is sort of new to the UFC. There may be some jitters there. The over might be a solid play. He does have incredible speed, but Jordan is really, really tough. So even if you think Ian's going to win, Jordan is tough enough to survive.
And I'll tell you,
solid play.
Yeah, and I'll tell you too that you mentioned it it's funny that you mentioned the Paddy fight because in that Paddy fight, immediately, who was at DC and maybe Felder were talking about how in his striking, and obviously he's more of a grappler than Garry. In his striking,
I used him for the hype comparison.
Right. But I'm gonna make a different comparison. In his striking, a lot of it was chin up, just straight back, dodging punches. And when I'm watching Ian Garry, I don't see a lot of chin down, slipping punches. I see a lot of backwards, chin up. And that's why I'm saying, against Jordan Williams, you better be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, definitely a tougher fight than the odds makers think it is, but I do think Ian is sort of being set up for success here. I do think he'll pass this test. I don't know what I'm gonna do with bets here because he's such a massive favorite, but Jordan does have a path to victory. I do like the over on round lines. You guys know I hunt out those 1.5s and play the over. This might be one. I'd
love that 1.5 to me.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm too conservative for my own good. That over 1.5 is probably solid. We'll see. I might do it after we're done recording. We'll see. wewantpicks.com/bets. wewantpicks.com/MKF. Sign up for something. Help us out. Thank you. Don't forget, go to wewantpicks.com/bets and make a deposit. We have 3 different betting partners to work with. Grab one, jump in, make a deposit, reach out, let me know after you did, and I will send you $50, however you want it, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All I need from you is your username, screenshot of deposit. I'll get you paid. Thank you very much for the watch. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and claim your free money.